Good greetings and salutations. My name is Vladimir Orelus, and today I will be briefly discussing a professional career interview that I conducted with a mental health professional working in the field of applied behavior analysis, also known as ABA. This particular interview was conducted over the phone on the 18th of March, 2026. I asked the interviewee if I could record the call for reference, but she declined, so notes were taken and used instead. The first question asked was for the interviewee to introduce herself with her name, job title, and educational degree. She introduced herself as Ashley Philippic, with the job title of a Board-Certified Behavior Analyst. She has a Master's of Arts in Exceptional Student Education with the focus on applied behavior analysis. Given her degree, I followed up to ask if being a board-certified behavior analyst was always her professional goal, to which she replied with a solid no. In truth, her original goal was to become a special education teacher and a counselor, but at some point, 7 years ago, she had an encounter with a student and a caregiver who had discussed positive encounters with the BCBA, which piqued her interest and essentially changed her career projection. After some research and conversations with both registered behavior technicians and BCBAs, she discovered that most of what she would be doing as an educator was applicable, so she did a career flip. After a brief discussion, I then asked her to describe her job duties, to which she replied, Board-Certified Analysts, commonly referred to as BCBAs, work to provide developmental intervention for individuals diagnosed with autism and other developmental disabilities. These responsibilities include completing functional behavior assessments for new clients, decide and develop behavior treatment plans, supervise and train registered behavior technicians, and educate and train school staff, and caregivers how to respond to and alter maladaptive and functional behaviors. This requires BCBAs to also analyze data captured by RBTs. When asked, what do you find fulfilling about working in this industry? She described the joy she gets from helping families and children. She knows that her work can improve the quality of life for the individual and the people around them, especially the parents. She enjoys teaching new skills to the kiddos and seeing how they grow after attaining and mastering said skills. And she mentioned that she gets a great sense of purpose by providing mentorship to ABA technicians and aspiring analysts so they can do the same for those in need. Most importantly, she stated that she loves providing hope for overwhelmed families. She was then asked to describe what you find challenging about working in this industry. She responded that the biggest challenge has to be time management. This is a result of an intense caseload, and as in this day and age, there are so many families in need, and each family has various factors that make a complicated situation extremely overwhelming. She said that the time management was also a challenge because it included managing staff of RBTs, navigating family dynamics, sorting client data, and other various environmental factors while working to manage her own life. The next question was, what do you do to continue professional growth in this field? In order to maintain her certification, the BCBA has a set amount of CE units. CE is short for continuing education units that they have to acquire every 2 years. She also attends numerous ABA conferences countrywide. Also, interestingly enough, analysts gain access to files and documents from the Behavior Analyst Certification Board's portal that contains innumerable peer-reviewed research and case studies that can provide insight to individual cases. The last question the BCBA actually was asked was about any recommendations for students pursuing work in the ABA field. She stated that the first step was to become a registered behavior technician, RBT, which only requires a high school diploma and 40 hours of ABA training, and which is followed by a test for initial certification. This is typically provided by companies that you are applying for work. She also recommended that if one wants to ascend the professional career ladder and become an analyst, that they should find opportunities to work hand in hand and shadow and building different behavior programs, as well as analyzing data with different analysts, including board-certified behavior analysts and board-certified assistant behavior analysts, which is BCBAs and BCABAs. The most important is to get comfortable asking for guidance. Asking for help and a little direction is the best way to go ahead and navigate through getting into this field. As a bonus question, I asked her, when it comes to the scope of her career, is there anything she would do differently? To which she responded that she would have done so sooner. But due to personal challenges and obstacles, she had to hold off for some time, but she is happy to be where she is now and helping those within reach, both client side and peer side. Now that we know that requirements for becoming an RBT are so light, mostly just a high school diploma and some training, about 40 hours of online guided training, I would encourage anyone that's looking for a career path in mental health and likes working with children to consider ABA as a career path for them. And after some time of being in RBT education and pursuing both a bachelor's degree and a master's in ABA, you too can become an analyst and help families, or at least use it as a way to springboard into a different career path that fits more your fancy. Seems to be very rewarding, but the workload can be stacked and overwhelming at times. Ashley described how long it would take her to manage just her assigned RBTs, to include reviewing their session notes for completion and accuracy, using the log data to augment the plans as needed, especially given the required constraint of attending a percentage of sessions for required supervision. Not to mention that she has to manage RBTs, BCABAs, who are the Board-Certified Assistant Behavior Analyst, and clients, which include completing parent training as little as once a week, which sometimes means that she doesn't have the complete weekends to herself, let alone time off. But this could be well worth it, as to be part of something bigger than oneself and help a family whose child barely looks at them or recognizes they exist to speaking in complete sentences and saying I love you, which is all rewarding in itself. I can't imagine anything more rewarding than being a positive impact on the lives of children, especially those who are at risk of being overlooked and cast aside due to cognitive wiring. Another thing of important note that Ashley mentioned to me is that it's important to take some downtime because this career tends to have a good deal of burnout, as a lot of the RBTs and analysts tend to care and become too involved with the clients. They're taking care of the kids, they become attached. And so she says that it's important to take time off for yourself. So she says whenever she has the opportunity, she tends to go to Disneyland. She goes with her child and her family, and she spends about a few days there to decompress before returning to the chaos known as being a board-certified behavior analyst. All in all, I think this is the career path that I want to choose for myself because I love working as a registered behavior technician, and I can see myself being a pretty good board-certified behavior analyst and helping families and kids in need. Thank you for your time. Have a wonderful day, a great night, and a lovely life. Goodbye.